Hey Susan, we're live. Wiener, wiener,
Woo!
wiener. Yeah, apparently I have to start paying for X Premium now. X was just kind of like give me a taste of just they're just putting the tip in. So now you start paying for X Premium.
Yeah, you were
So
telling me about that last time we
yeah,
went live.
it's freaking annoying. It's I do so much stuff. So yes, anybody watching? Well, the last live stream we did for episode 4 was pretty good. I just again we got I think pretty sure I had COVID for a couple of days, so it's kind of MIA. Plus we had our sister, well, my sister, your cousin's birthday, and it's
Sister cousin.
been a busy ass week. All right. So let's get it is 8 o'clock now. We can get a quick recap in before episode 6. But so welcome to Hot D episode 5. Do you know the name, Susan, of this episode?
Um, so I was reading an article recently about the episode,
Uh
and I think it was called Regency.
Region C. That sounds sounds very House of the Dragon, Region C.
I could be wrong.
And you are, but
Okay.
it's
What's the
called
name of
Regent.
Okay, I was close though. I was
Details matter.
very, very close.
Details matter. All right.
Okay, for me, the name of the episode doesn't matter as much as like the action that's
All
going
right.
on in the
All
episode.
right, let's get some hot D done before we get to episode 6. But all right, so I was on 2 streams this week. My friend Nadia, unfortunately, she's very sick this week. She can't do a live recording, and my buddy
Mm.
Lance. Difference in of opinions. This so far, I think out of all 5 episodes, the most divided one. One panel said they hated it. One panel said they loved it. Let's get into it. I do want to hear your opinion. I think my opinion of this episode got a little bit higher after watching it again. All right, so previously on Hot D, this guy, and you know this, Susan, anybody watching, whenever we have a TV show where they do previously on, if they show a character, that means they're going to be in this episode.
Yeah,
That's how it happens. So
normally.
apparently Hugh might become
Hugh.
Hugh may become
Hugh.
a dragon seedling or something. Or
I'm not giving anything away. He
all
might.
right, and hey, we remember this name, Lady Jane Aaron.
Yep.
If they'll pop up
Rhaenyra's
again.
cousin.
Yeah, and of course, Damon, do you accept your cousin, your cousin wife is queen? Probably not.
Niece,
Um,
wife.
Yeah, this dude says the armies are going to be Damon's. Okay, and of course Rainey's falls down.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. That's pretty much the entire plot. Oh,
Yeah.
of course, and again, just real quick, small details. Excellent CGI. This poor dragon, boy, his scales and belly were ripped the fuck open. And
Oh yeah.
Aegon, you knew it, I knew it. Like he fell pretty far, but he wasn't dead.
No.
All right, and of course, wiener, wiener,
Wiener
wiener.
wiener.
Yep, House of the Dragon. Okay, excellent as always. Wide shot, HBO, doing a great job on your budget and location. Okay,
Amazing.
Corliss, well, and this is what he was the first person I was wondering about because I like Corliss a lot and I loved Rainey's and how he'd react, but he's pretty upset to say the least. He's crying and he lost his wife of 30 years, 40 years, I forgot.
Something along those lines.
Yeah,
They've been married for quite some time.
yeah. And we get to Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra, she's crying her eyes out too because her cousin's dead. You
And it's not even just the fact of so Rhaenyra's small council's made up of so many men
Mm,
that the only women around her are literally Rhaenys and Baela.
yeah,
And it was Rhaena as well, but she sent Rhaena away for her own protection.
yeah,
So losing and Baela's young. So it's not like Baela's giving her like sage advice.
yeah.
Rhaenys was the closest thing she had to like her position because
Yeah.
Rhaenys the queen who never was.
Yeah, and boy, this right here, I was shocked to see so much CG, but we have a dragon head, and I do like the detail with the CG. We actually still see
So
this the steam coming off the flesh, but I can
this is
imagine
this
the
is
act.
actually something that someone brought up at some point. It might have been in like the after show
Mm,
type thing, like you know what I'm talking about after the episode where they go inside and in depth on things that happen in the episode.
yes,
Rhaenys being a dragon rider, being a princess of the house Targaryen, and her dragon being like well known throughout the streets of King's Landing and the population of King's Landing, and the fact that they took it upon themselves to like first and foremost cut the head off of her dragon.
yeah,
Well, take away from where Aemon's dragon like pretty much like bit through her freaking neck
hmm,
and then parade her head through the streets of King's Landing. That you see like all of like the small folk, their faces, they're not happy about this.
Yes, and that's why I capture these specific lines where, "Hey, a dragon! Look, they killed the dragon," and everybody, Kristen Cole, and he expects everyone to be happy. Everyone here is horrified. I did like this scene a lot, just showing because so far these people in their lifetimes they haven't seen dragons be killed, let alone dragon fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And is it Dwayne or Gwen? I keep forgetting Dwayne.
Gawain.
Gwen. Yeah, he says to Kristen Cole. Kristen Cole's like all puffing his chest out, like, "Yeah, we had a victory." He's like, "Yeah, if you want to call it one." But that's what I like this that line right there. I thought the dragons were gods, and Huel or is it Huel or
Hugh.
Duel? Hugh. He was
Hugh.
just like, well, it's just meat. But also, I mean, some people have said it, and I'll be the dickhead to say it too. Everyone's starving, everyone's low on food. You know what they have access to? A big juicy burger. Feed the people. But yeah,
But like
yeah,
that's the main thing is if it had been Rhaenyra and her dragon, maybe it would have been different. If it had been Daemon and his dragon,
yeah,
maybe it would have been different. But even then, like killing Rhaenyra, killing Daemon, cool. Killing their dragons,
yeah. But it does show people that, yeah, so the dragons, they're not immortal, they can be killed. They are of flesh and blood.
they're very vulnerable to each other.
Yeah. I did like right here that the rat catchers are still hung up there and
Mm-hmm.
but the clothes still on and the skeletal remains. My God,
Yeah.
how much decomposition, but like does it take for these are just bare skeletons at this point. So they've been up
Yeah.
there for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus Christ, man. Wow. And of course, Eamon and Allison looking like he's all proud and happy, but things aren't going the way that you think they are right now.
Oh no.
And right here, I mean, we have not too much time to kill, but this is Aegon, and I
Yep.
wasn't sure at first who this was, but now also we don't know how much time has passed. It could be 4 days, 5 days, a week, possibly, but Aegon basically has been carried in this whatever casket here inside back to King's Landing. He's basically been like cooking or like stewing in a sense because
Mm-hmm.
they haven't removed him from his armor. He's still inside that ship,
Yeah.
and damn. And as you said, I thought great makeup job. Some people didn't like. They felt he should have been more damaged and burned, but he's wearing armor. I'll allow it. And you did tell me this last week, where the thing is, he's wearing metal. He's wearing metal armor. These maesters have to take their time cutting chunks out of the metal because it fucking fused to his skin. So you
Yeah.
you can't just remove the shit because you'll take half his fucking arm off or his skin off. But it just you hear all squishing effects and the black blood,
Yep.
and he is alive, but barely
Yeah.
and out and I thought that was a good makeup job actually. I think some
Yeah.
people they expected to see Anakin Skywalker kind
Oh
of like,
yeah.
but it wasn't he was wearing armor and a shield, so I mean, I'm fine with that.
And the thing is, and you notice too, like if you go back to the slide real quick, it's half of his face. It's
Mhm.
the half that was actually hit by Dragonfire. The other side is fine. Like,
Yeah,
not fine, of course, but like he's not as badly damaged on one side as he is the other.
yeah.
Which
So,
small details.
yeah, and Aemon without missing a fucking beat. Well, someone will have to rule in his stead, almost like Aemon was waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah,
Almost like he blew Dragonfart at his brother, expecting this shit to happen.
on purpose.
But now, I mean, I didn't know I'd be scarce with my stills here, but Kristen Cole's got a lemon. I guess lemons are pretty good for cleaning your sword. Allison's talking to Kristen, what happened? And he's like, yeah, I didn't see much. And Kristen is suffering some early, we'll say PTSD after what he just saw.
Yeah.
He's being very uncooperative with Allison based on what's going on.
Which you can understand because like he just saw atrocities beyond count.
Yeah, plus
And
plus what he's used to. So
exactly. And it's not even just that, like he's trained Aemon and Aegon since they were small boys. And to see
yeah,
Aegon like basically they won the battle, but they're kind of losing the war in that sense. Because even though they killed Rhaenys, even though they killed Mealy's, at what price? Considering how much freaking damage was done to Aegon.
yes. Now we get right here, Rhaenyra back to our small council. Basically, he's breaking down what's this guy's name right here, the dude on the right.
You're gonna have to forgive me because I don't know her council
Yeah.
members.
All right. Well, basically, they say that hey, Duskendale and Rook's Rest are gone, and breaking
Yep.
down to news to Rhaenyra that yeah, Kristen Cole won and we lost. So essentially, what they're saying is yes, she has Corlys on her side. Corlys in his own right is a badass. Great to have him, but he is part of the river and he's part of the oceans. He's a great sailor, but with they're lacking ground troops. They need ground troops. They're waiting for Damon. The whole point of Damon was to go get a bunch of ground troops. They're still waiting on Damon.
Yeah.
She does give it back to Sir Alfred. So there you go.
Yeah.
And some people are kind of pissed off that they feel like she's being kind of girl boss because the line does come up here. Well, it is merely that the gentler sex, heretofore, has not been much privy to war. And she's like, well, basically saying like he's trying to mansplain it. And I'm like, in this era, in this like part of the world, it doesn't go outside the realm of possibility where a general will be explaining to his queen that, listen, you're a woman, I'm a guy, we're combat people. It's how it happens. But she does give it back to him, saying, "Hey, look, my father, in our whole lifetimes, we've all known peace. So, like, you don't know much more war than I do, and
And
I didn't
she's
mind
not
it
wrong.
exactly." But so yeah, so if Cole's going to pursue his campaign, all of our allies must be ready. But and he does say that he mentions Vagar being depleted. The thing is, if we go attack them now, there she wants to go fight, and I do understand
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra's her why she's upset for, because yes, she is the queen, but she's also a dragon rider. And with Rhaenys just dying, she can't just sit around. She can't just sit
Yeah.
around and wait to die. She has to do something. So
And this kind of shows the similarities between Aegon and Rhaenyra,
yeah,
but the difference too is Rhaenyra has a ton of people sitting there saying, no, like, you are the heir. You're the heir. If you put yourself in unnecessary, like, positions where you have other dragon riders who can go out there and do what they need to do, like, no one's hiding shit from her. They're letting her rule, but they also don't want to see anything happen to her.
yeah,
Whereas Aegon, they didn't keep him in the loop of anything.
yeah,
So he made a stupid choice and made a stupid decision, and then he went out and died.
yeah.
Almost died.
Now this scene, and it's just a minor complaint for me going forward. I get where Jace is coming from, but Jace, here's the problem. He's basically saying that I have to go see Uncle Damon, and my mother right now.
I need to go see our dad.
Yeah, well, that's what's her father, but his uncle, correct?
His stepfather.
Stepfather. All right, yeah, I'm losing track.
Stepfather, uncle, great uncle,
Yeah, but whatever he is.
everything.
Yeah,
He's
but
his own grandpa at this point.
he does complain the same thing, that my mother is not letting me fight, and she's like, well, your mother only protects you. But Rhaenyra is doing the same problem that the small council is doing. Rhaenyra is not letting Jace fight, but you're frustrating Jace, and he is as much of a dragon rider as you are, and as frustrated as the council's making you're making your son. You're both important. You both can't sit around. You can't expect to sit around and get frustrated, but then make your son sit around and not get frustrated.
But there's a difference between Jace and Aegon.
Well, no,
Jace isn't
no.
talking about going blindly into battle.
Well, while saying for Rhaenyra is sheltering Jace as much as the council is sheltering Rhaenyra. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like Jace right now, he's frustrated, but he's just as frustrated as Mother. Both characters, they are dragon riders. They have to
Yeah.
fucking fight. At this point, you said you just lost Rhaenys. This is war. There's no more time for diplomacy. No
Yeah.
more time for sitting around. Jace and Rhaenyra got to go out and fucking fight. So,
And
yeah,
to some degree, and I think this is where you see it with her, because she had like a different viewpoint too. When Bela's like, I got close enough to them in the one episode, and it's like, I've already lost one kid. I'm not going to lose like all of my freaking children.
yeah,
That's why she sent Rhaena and the 3 younger boys away. That's why she's not sending Jace out to fight. That's why she's telling Bela, patrol, but don't get close.
yeah.
She's like, we've already lost Luke. I'm not losing the rest of you.
Now, he does mention, of course, Cregan Stark, the Greybeards coming from the north, but it's going to take some more time.
And
Now,
they need more people than just the
mm,
Greybeards from the north. Granted, these are seasoned veterans of war. But
yeah,
how long is it going to take those seasoned veterans of war to travel through winter to
yeah,
go south?
it's true. Now, I mean, good scene as always. I love the CGI. I know it's Matt Smith inside of a harness, but just god damn, look at that.
Hmm.
Just great shot. Now, some people, and I was expecting it as well, some people were expecting Damon to do what Damon does. I was expecting Damon to just wipe these fuckers out. But
Yep.
now I do have to defend Damon's actions, because Damon does say right there, basically, hey, Jonas or die. And the guy's like, yeah, we'll choose fire. And it's kind of a small dark comedy, but even Damon's like, wow, I didn't think they would be so eager to die.
Yeah, like
He's
I
just like,
literally, when he said that, like I'm sitting there, I'm like, why does this feel like I'm watching Monty Python?
yeah. But he does say that, why didn't you just kill them all for? Because he's like, I came here to raise soldiers, not to like destroy them. essentially. He's like he's not. He's like I think he's like I'm not here to raise corpses. I'm here to
Yeah,
gain soldiers. He's not going to be gaining any kind of loyalty by wiping guys the fuck out. I mean,
it's
it's
true.
the whole fear tactic is not going to work that much in this situation. So,
And
Damon, Damon for once is actually being smart instead of impulsive,
yeah,
which is watching this again. I did like how Damon's showing restraint for once.
yeah. Because Damon's not stupid. Well, yes, Damon wants people to acknowledge him as being the king, but at the same point in time, he doesn't want to turn so many people against himself, Rhaenyra,
Yes.
their children, anything along those lines. He's like,
Yeah.
we know we're the ones who should be ruling. It just we have to get everyone else on board.
Yeah.
So he's not completely stupid, and it's not even the fact of Damon being stupid. Damon's not stupid.
No.
It's just Damon thinks war more so than peace.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So
Now,
the fact that he's thinking peace, it says a lot about him.
yeah, they have a little talk right there. He says every man has his weakness. Basically, Damon's like, well, coerce them, but he gives them like the red flag to go ahead and just be a brutal son of a bitch and kill women and children if you have to.
Yeah.
And it's going to backfire later on, but
Oh yeah.
Damon doesn't notice right now. So, and of course, we get to see this is I keep forgetting the Aaron or
The Erie.
the Erie now. And as she says, if you look at the Erie, I forgot how much of the Erie did we see in Game of Thrones? A couple times.
So we saw it in season 1 and we saw it in season 4.
Okay,
And every time you see it, it's different, which
really.
is funny
Hmm.
because all like Winterfell doesn't change. Like even here, Winterfell's still the same as it was in Game of Thrones. King's Landing doesn't fully change. Like there's a couple things here and there, but it's generally like everything's pretty much the same.
Okay,
With the exception of like all the swords surrounding the throne in House of the Dragon compared to Game of Thrones. But the Eyrie is one of those castles, depending upon like what it is at that time period, is depending on what you're looking at. Like when we first see it in Game of Thrones, it's summer, it looks more polished. The second time we see
okay.
it in Game of Thrones, it's like fall setting in. So it's a little more like it's hard to describe. But here it's like you would think it would look like this in Game of Thrones because it's older and like you wouldn't think the upkeep was as well like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's actually more dingy on the outside than it is in Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Well, the one thing I do like, and I do mention this, is that if you look at this, reminds me of, and I mean, you're not the biggest Lord of the Rings fans, but even you know about Helm's Deep. This
Yeah.
reminds me of Helm's Deep. There's one way in and one way out. She is very protected by this whole surrounding areas. No armies marching through these fucking mountains.
No.
So if you want to get to the area, you've got one way only. It's a
And-
great defense.
And this is something that is brought up multiple times, be it the books, be it the Game of Thrones, be it here. And it's said right there, the Eyrie itself is impregnable.
Yes.
You can't just like get into the Eyrie. You literally have to like defy death to make it there.
Yeah.
And that's on invitation.
Yeah. I keep forgetting what's this is God. This is Damon's daughter.
Damon's other daughter, Rhaena.
Okay, Raina. Now it said I don't dislike this scene, dislike this actress, but even like my buddy Lance and everyone would say that this scene isn't bad per se, but I do agree with that. I feel like it's kind of like I would say dragged down a little bit. Like I feel like they could have shortened this scene down. I mean, maybe I'm wrong with that, but she basically says, "Hey, listen, I'm here with the dragons that Rhaenyra promised you. You promised her 15,000 swords." It's not a bad scene, but she says, the issue is, yes, right now the area is impenetrable except for the skies, and you give me two baby dragons. They're the size of kittens. They can't do much right now. And she is kind of a smart ass, like saying, well, I mean, Rhaenyra did promise you dragons. She didn't promise the size of the dragons. But
she's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't a bad scene. I just feel like, kind of, I don't know. It's like so far we're getting more setup, I guess, than payoff. But we'll get into that. So, yeah, so it said she's having more scenes with Massaria. She's venting how upset she is, and she's like, right there, they will make me queen, but they keep confining me. And she's not totally wrong because she is a queen, but they are treating her in some ways like Aegon. So I do understand where she's coming from. But Massaria just tell her that Kristen Cole made a mistake. I bet about yes, people see, putting what's Rhaenys dragon's name? The one who died?
Meleys.
Meleys, yeah. Putting that dragon head and having it go through the streets was not a good thing. and you'd be surprised how much the people will side with you because
Yeah.
and plus they're starving.
Yeah.
And now again, I didn't mind this scene, but I do feel like it's not me complaining as much as some people. I'm trying to be fair and objective. We're episode 5 in. We have only have 3 more to go. We've established so much. We get kind of a I wouldn't say dragged out scene, but it could have shortened this a lot because I get where her grandmother, she loved her and Rainey's, but like we're still getting more and more and more backstory of Rainey's. Some people feel like, we get it. Rainey's is gone, but it's you're wasting more time talking about older stuff versus advancing the plot forward
Yeah.
because she just breaks down the whole time this whole 5 minute sequence about when Rhaenys first got her dragon. That would have been great to establish in season one.
It would have.
We're already past that. It's like so. I'm trying to be fair and see the criticisms. And as
I
you
mean,
said,
I agree with it
yeah,
1,000%. But at the same point, with Rainey's just dying, and I understand why they did it the way they did it. This will probably be the only time like we talk about Rainey's again after. Like they'll probably bring it up a couple more times. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But Rhaenyra needs Corlys on her side. Her best bet to get Corlys on her side is through Baela. And Baela does love Rhaenyra dearly to begin with, but she just lost like another mother figure because Baela was raised at high tide, unlike her sister and her stepbrothers and her half brothers, who
yeah,
were all raised on Dragonstone. So what Rhaenyra is doing here by like comforting Baela in this way and talking to her about it, it's actually smart
yeah.
because then that gives her the chance to give her the pin for the hand of the king to give to Corlys. Because Rhaenyra's not going to go to him being the fact that she's the person who essentially sent Rhaenys to go fight to her death, even though Rhaenys was the one who offered to go do it in the first place.
Well, the next scene we're back to Damon, and of course, it's surprisingly it wasn't no nudity, but Damon is having dreams about having sex, and I'm like, okay, who's he having sex with? At one point, she says she mentions Damon being her son, and I'm like, wait, what? Hold up a second. Game of Thrones has gotten freaky, so Damon's having dreams about.
I mean, they always said he was his mother's favorite.
Apparently, so I'm like, yeah, we're going there. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll get into that in a minute. Why? But Damon's having dreams of sleeping with his mom. I'm like, sure, didn't
Mom
see
was
that
kind of
coming.
hot.
Yeah, but so this guy pops up again, and he wakes up Damon half naked. Okay, sure.
Seems
But
like this dude always wakes Damon up half naked.
yeah, something's going on there. So she pops up again, and we all know it's her.
Yes.
I think Damon at some point knows it's her as well. That
Oh,
she's
he
yeah,
subconsciously he knows because
yeah.
why would he keep seeing young Rhaenyra? Why would he keep seeing Elena? Now he's seeing his mom.
Now I kept this line of dialogue right here, which I do admit that this also did irritate me. So basically, we are broke. We are having trouble. If we do get some soldiers feeding people, Damon says to him, "Is there any gold left in your coffers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, again, dude. Have you been to this castle for 5 seconds? If they had money, this castle wouldn't be fucking falling apart."
But here's the thing, though.
I mean,
It's not even the fact of them having the gold. It's the fact that his nephew, who is the like lord of the castle, he hasn't left them shit to begin with. And even if he did, they're not going to restore the castle because they're restoring it for the wrong freaking person.
yeah. He's basically telling Damon like, "Hey, can you talk to Rhaenyra and get us some money?" He's like, "No, I'm not talking to Rhaenyra." But it was kind of stupid for Damon to be asking the guy that like they're all broke. Do you have any money? No, we don't have no fucking money.
Yeah.
The place is leaking and bricks are coming down. There's mold and probably some
Like-
black rotten.
Like, there have been fires there like
Yeah.
multiple times.
And I mean, again, we're in episode 5. He's still hell bent like with them calling him my king. Call me your king. I'm the king now. It's like okay, this is the second episode. You're getting obsessed with your titles.
Very much so, because he wants to be viewed as the king, but it's like, dude, you are the king consort.
Yes.
Your official title is still Prince Damon.
Yeah. Now we're back to Alicent in the council. So of course the name Regent gets brought up because Regent, well, obviously Aegon can't rule right now, and Alicent puts her name in there, saying basically, "Hey, listen, when my husband was dying for 25 fucking years, I basically ruled," and she's not wrong, but What she doesn't expect is that the entire council, and of course Laurice, because I guess she stopped showing him feet pictures and shit. Laurice, he's like, yeah, it should be Eamon. Wait, what, Laurice? And she looks over. Cole, I mean, we're constantly having sex. Cole, you're on my side. I took the morning after pill for you, Cole. You're on my side, Cole. You're hand to the king. And Cole looks at her like, yeah, it should be Eamon. So the entire council turned on her, and she's like, oh shit.
Which, in all honesty, someone actually brought this up. It's like you chose the side that wants to instill a king rather than a queen, and then you're getting pissed off that they want a male to like hold the regency over yourself.
Yeah, at one point Laurie says that as well. He goes, "How would it make us look if we anointed a female ruler when they already did? Would just be just as weak." Now,
Mm,
Kristen, we'll get into in a minute. Kristen has his reasons for wanting Aemon to take over his region, but basically she just has like that stink look, and it's like part of me does feel I do kind of feel sorry for her because we talked about this last episode where
I don't.
what no, but now she's really seeing like how bad shit's getting because the thing is, Aemon. She talked with Rhaenyra about this. She knows how bad Aemon is, what Aemon's gonna do, and
Yeah.
Aemon essentially, we know it, purposely fucking blew dragonfire on his brother. Aemon wants this all along, and now it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, it's in her defense because she's like her father. She would be trying to go for peace and be a better ruler. She knows Aemon's not the best, and she does say that Aemon is a great dragon rider. He's young, he's impulsive, and she goes, his impulse is why we're in this fucking mess for her. So she
But
does have,
here's
you know,
the thing, though. Aemond is the way he is because of right there, her.
well, it's as people would say, she realizes that hey, I backed the wrong horse. Yeah, you did,
Yeah.
lady, but. But Aemon, as soon as he's like, "Yeah, I'm reaching," he gets up and he doesn't even skip a fucking beat. Grabs his little ball, puts his ball down, sits down. Okay, so we're doing this, doing that, and I still like that line. Someone cut down the fucking rat catchers.
I mean, like, it's the smartest thing in the fucking world to do at this
Yeah,
point. Because, like, you're leaving those fucking bodies up there for their freaking families to have to keep grieving over.
yeah,
And it's like, okay, not for nothing. Aemond is a dick, but that was one thing that Otto said to begin with. He's like, you killed all the fucking rat catchers.
yep,
And, like, now what? He's
yeah,
like, yeah, you might have killed one of the guys who freaking, like, killed your kid, but at the same point, what's that showing your people?
yeah,
Because you killed one guy who was, like, guilty, but how many of them were innocent?
yeah. So we get back to Hugh and his wife and their dying daughter, and of
Yeah.
course you think that Rhaenyra. Basically, they're saying that we need to. It's time for us to leave the city because things are just getting worse. Maybe we should go
Oh,
with
yeah.
Rhaenyra. And but the king is alive. The daughter's pretty damn sickly looking. As you said, characters like him will play an important part later on. But
Yeah.
so she pulls up to Kristen Cole and Kristen, what the hell you doing? Why you backstabbing me for? And now he just basically says to her, yeah, because like what happened out in that battlefield? And he's like, we left the war. He's like, yeah, right there. We let the war to the dragons, and he's seen it firsthand. Remember the one guy when he first got knocked down,
Hmm.
gets up, he puts his hand on the soldier's armor, looks over, and the guy just turns to fucking ash. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, their armor melted, they turned to ash. It's one thing hearing about battle versus you're actually in a battle, and he's seen the power of Rhaenys' dragon, what it can actually do. He's seen the power of fucking Vagar, how powerful these creatures really are. And he's like, and he says right here the line, a dragon rider should lead us. After what he just witnessed, he's like, I'm sorry, but you are not ready to lead. This is a fucking war, and your son just proved his mettle in battle. And we need a combat veteran. We need a fucking general to win this. That's why Kristen's like, hey, it's not personal, lady. I mean, the sex is good and all, but
Yeah.
your son's what we need right now. And he's not wrong.
And he's not wrong. And in all honesty, see, that was the reason why Rhaenyra chose him to begin with as her sworn protector, as a member of the Kingsguard, was because of all the guys that were there who were trying to take on that responsibility after Ryman Redwine passed away,
Yeah.
and Sir Harold was promoted to being like Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. He was the only one who was battle tested. But
Yeah.
this is a whole different type of battle than what he's used to.
Definitely, yeah. Now, I guess some people were saying this is pretty stupid, but like maybe it depends how you look at it. But okay, so Amon basically made it where it's like, hey, everybody, we're locking the gates, nobody can leave. Now, part of me is like, well, I see that, but also if you admit it right now, you're low on food, low on resources. If the people are being a burden, if they want to leave, I'd say let them fucking leave because your resources are low anyway. It does seem kind of a dumb move in a sense to keep a bunch of people that don't want to be here. They're all trying to fucking leave. Just let them go.
It's
That's
true.
yes, it seems like a but I kept this
Because,
because that makeup job, great makeup job on her kid. Like,
oh my God.
if their kid ain't dead, she's pretty goddamn close. Like,
And this is the thing is, all these people, their number one fear is, okay, they're going to leave us and they're going to jump ship to Rhaenyra. It's not so much the fact that they're leaving and they're going to jump ship to Rhaenyra. They can't eat.
yeah,
How are you affording to like take care of all these people?
they're all yelling too. It's like we miss hamburgers. We want meat. There's no bread around here. Like,
Like
yeah,
all the fruits, like freaking like
you know,
rotten, and all the vegetables are like gone.
yeah,
And you know, how the hell are like we supposed to sustain all these fucking people in a capital of over 1 million people?
yeah. So I do have to admit that I thought that was a kind of still Eamon put the city on martial law and lockdown. Why, dude? To let him fucking go, bro. But all right, but excellent. Great shot right here. Again, fantastic CGI for this dragon. Essentially,
Bear
so
max.
this is Jace, and okay, so he's on the bridge. I guess I forgot this bridge
The
sequence.
twins.
The twins, sorry, this twins was in Game of Thrones, right? It's
Yep.
been a while since we watched it, but all the
So this specific part was never in Game of Thrones. Like you see the twins. This is House Frey, but
Frey,
you
okay,
never see the actual bridge
right
itself. You
there.
never see anyone on that bridge.
That's a great shot, though.
But this is how the twins are able to be connected to begin with, is this bridge.
Mhm.
Because there are two standing castles that are basically on either side of this river that is able to be garrisoned by troops, and they're able to face off against the south and the north if need be and keep themselves
Yes,
protected. What Jace is doing here, smart as hell. He's not going into battle, he's not going into war, he's holding negotiations. And
yeah,
I've said this multiple times. Jace would make a great freaking ruler because he's
mhm.
smart.
Well said. Now, the only thing that's kind of like, I guess, ignorant or kind of brash is that, well, what do they want? They want Harrenhal. Well, Damon doesn't, well, he technically has Harrenhal, but he's on his way to Harrenhal. You just gave away Harrenhal, which is right now, it's weird. Like, it's technically it's your mother's to give away, but Damon's not in the right state of mind where you're giving away Harrenhal, but it's not going to make Damon happy.
But is he actually giving away Harrenhal?
I mean, what's what he's promising him. So,
But that's the thing. He can't technically give it away if Rhaenyra loses the war. And
yeah,
that's what he tells them. He's like, how are we supposed to help you if you don't help us?
man, well said. Now, I did like, and to the credit, Damon. Damon's fucking bored. Damon's out there chopping wood and getting his hands dirty. He's being a blue collar worker, which
Oh
Damon,
yeah.
I approve. I approve Damon getting
That right
cows.
there is a true blue
Damn
collar
right,
loser.
with that manly head of hair, shit.
Yeah.
But he gets some calluses on his hands, and just more scenes that and that's why I like this right there. Let it not be said that Damon Targaryen failed to dirty his hands in this war. Like, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
dude? So, but he has a little exchange here with what's the witch's name again?
Alice Rivers.
Mm. But she's basically breaking down what he just sent that dude to do about killing all these women and children and how they're being poor. But and this is where he just reveals more of himself. Where Rhaenyra is welcome to join me there and take her place by my side. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, dude, again, he's like saying that he's gonna go to King's Landing, take it over, and Rhaenyra, if she wants to join, she can. Like, dude, you're supposed to be fighting for Rhaenyra, not fighting for yourself. And he just
Yeah, it's
keeps
like,
like,
bro, that's your wife.
yeah. So this dude pops in, says that, yeah, your scout there. He sent the people out there. House Bracken. House Bracken's yours. Damon points the axe at him. Good job, man. All right, cool. We got House Bracken. Now, a good scene I do think between Corlys and his granddaughter, but he just says
Yeah.
that his castle's empty, it's haunted, and at one point I should just get up and sail and just go basically sail to my death. Now,
Yeah.
he does feel like, Rhaenyra's being kind of greedy because she's like, well, Rhaenyra made you the offer for Hand of the King, which in retrospect and, in the situation, it's a pretty smart move because Corlys, I mean, who wouldn't you want as Hand of the King but Corlys? I mean, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
He's kind of, and he's grieving, so you're not upset with him. He's like, man, even in death of my wife, it's like she just wants more out of me. And she's like, no. What's his granddaughter's name again? Keep forgetting.
Bayla.
Bayla's like, this is a great honor, so don't take it as that. Now, basically, he does say that. Oh, well, she says to him that, grandfather, do not be upset the way that Rhaenys died. Rhaenys died with honor and dragonfire. That's how she wanted to die. That's what warriors do, and that's the way I want to die. So but he still is upset that his wife is dead, and I like that line right there. I will see Rhaenyra ascend the Iron Throne just as Rhaenys wanted. All right, cool. But
Hmm.
he does offer her his what's it? He wants to make him his heir, which
Yeah.
some people thought it was cheesy, but I'm fine with it. Where she's like, I don't want to be the heir because I'm blood and fire, and she's like, the heir should go to like what, salt and sea.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, and it's true though. It shouldn't go to her. It's like it should go to like maybe Alan, for example,
Yeah.
somebody who deserves it, right, Corlys. So now he pops up, Sir Alfred here, and he's like, yeah, just saying that she wants to send him to talk to Damon and talk to Damon, try to ask him what's going on and help us out. Which he takes it as she's sending him away because he keeps back talking to her. I mean, I don't think it's that because she needs somebody to go check on Damon. Like, Damon, what the fuck you doing?
Exactly.
So
Because Damon, he hasn't communicated with her.
no,
He's been basically like keeping to himself. He's not telling her what the hell's going on. And every time she wants to know, she's trying to rule. She's trying to do what she needs to do. But when she's trying to freaking like do what she needs to do, he's not cooperating. He's not communicating.
yeah, and also she mentions along the lines of like, well, if he's raising a army without me, you should check on him. And he's like, you think he would dare do that? And she's right there. Have you known Damon to lack in daring? She's worried that Damon's trying to raise an army behind her fucking back, which is exactly what he's doing. It's like, well, yeah,
It's like that is her husband. Before he was her husband, he was her uncle.
yeah.
She knows him.
Oh, he wakes up Damon at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, the River Lords are here. They're here to bend the knee and swear fealty to you. Fine, I'll get up and everything. And
Yeah.
right there. Is there some
And are
reason?
they really?
Well, I mean, but
That's the
is
question.
is there some reason you feel free to wake a king in his bed? And boy, so she mentions like, yeah, they carried the flag of House Targaryen, and they there's a certain decor, there's a certain demeanor to battle. And your
Yeah.
boy here, he just wiped us all the fuck out, and it was like brutal. It wasn't really a war. And she says to him, she gives it back to him, like, yeah, we shall not raise our banners to a tyrant. Oh shit. And she also calls Damon usurper. But
Yeah.
there's a very good line that's good said to her. She's like, yeah, well, coming from the guy who fucking killed the baby in his sleep, and like, oh man. So Damon, what Damon did is
Damon's not doing good.
yeah, it can backfire. Now I did like this scene, so I kept it for Damon. His hand is still cut, or well, callous. Puts his right hand and switches right from fucking there back to Rhaenyra's left hand, almost like
Mhm.
they're bouncing off each other. But all right, and she wants to get her hair done, and which it's kind of a wasted scene.
Yeah.
But all right, so it's Masari. I keep forgetting what's Malaise, the white worm chick.
Massaria.
Sorry, yeah. She sends one of her spies to back to King's Landing, indicating that Rhaenyra, the small people have more power than you think they do.
Small folk.
Small folk. All right, so she's there for Lady Massaria. I'm not sure who this blonde chick is, but
That
she's
blonde chick actually was a girl that Alicent sent away
okay.
who was actually handmade to Helena that Aegon basically raped. And she fed her
That's right.
milk tea,
Someone else said that
paid
too.
her
Yeah,
off, and like the girl basically is now working at at either an inn or a
okay.
brothel in the city.
Yeah.
So she has no loyalty towards the Green faction because of what happened to her.
Yeah. All right, so back to Corlys, and he has the pin in his hand, and he's just fingering it around, and he's contemplating. I mean, I know Corlys enough where I can't see Corlys sitting around feeling sorry for himself. He's a man of action, but
Yeah.
he's just we have to see Corlys. My only criticism, because we're almost done, Susan, I'm not mad, but like I just based on what I've known from Corlys from season one, I understand it's a time for grieving. I understand the fact that he's upset, but like I wanted to see Corlys fucking pissed, especially considering how powerful he is, and he's the sea snake. The dude's a captain of the fucking seas, man. And like, he
And
spent
in his mind, he's lost both of his children and his wife.
yeah. I preferred seeing Corlys. Like I said, spend half the episode upset, and maybe get this next episode. I don't want to see Corlys sitting around feeling sorry for himself. And
Yeah.
also, as we finish this episode, it's that again, we're 5 episodes in. We only have 3 more to go in the season. I want to see Carlise being like, if you kill my wife now, I'm fucking killing all of you. It's
Yeah.
time that now I'm taking hand of the king. The sea snake is pissed off. And now I'm involved in this war. So I get where people are coming from, but this was also the problem with Rhaenyra when Luke died, and fucking when Damon was talking to Rhaenys that she's spending so much time feeling sorry for herself. While you're feeling sorry for yourself, Kristen Cole and Aegon are all getting more powerful. I get where Carlise is coming from. At this point in the war, Carlise, you can't spend a whole episode sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. While
Yeah.
you're doing this, it just right now, actually, we're seeing the small council, sorry, the King's Landing Council, Aegon's group and Allison, Aemon and fucking and
Kristen
Laurie's
Cole.
and Chris Cole, they're all already planning and getting stronger while you're sitting around doubting.
Yeah.
So okay, and of course it's like kind of ominous, and yes, he's looking at the throne, and she looks over. Was it worth the price? And she ain't stupid. She knows what he did.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. Looks
But
at him.
and like this is why like so Helena, for what it's worth, and I think I said this in one of the other episodes, Rhaenyra can't stand her brothers, but she's never had any ill will towards Helena. And a lot of the people have no
Yeah.
ill will towards Helena because this girl, she was forced to marry her brother. She is awkward. She doesn't like people. She literally like she's forced into situations that she doesn't want to be in. She literally had to be there to say, like, that's my son, go ahead and kill him,
Yeah.
when that's the furthest thing from what any mother would want to do.
Hmm.
And yeah, she's not the biggest fan of Aegon, but at the same point, she also knows, like, hey, Aegon's older than us. If they're gonna push someone to like take over like the reins and like try to get rid of Rhaenyra, he's the one they have to do it with because he is the oldest.
My buddy Jay. This is Susan. This is the Gooch.
Sup, Gooch?
His little one Gooch. He's on Lance's channel today. He's got a new haircut. He's got this like manly like mustache going on. It's kind of disturbing,
but preferably, I think even she would rather have Aemon as king because Aemon, like I've been saying before, is that he parallels Jace very well, where they're both very much alike. And Aemon would make a better ruler than Aegon would, but Aegon, of course, is older.
I get distracted. Whenever the Gooch talks, he hypnotizes me. It's the power of the Gooch.
Clearly.
Yeah. So yeah, we're almost done here, but
back to it.
So Allison is being, for once, a mother, and she's concerned her son is, not dead, but he's messed up. And I thought it was funny.
Congrats! It took her 18 to 20 years to finally be a mother.
After his kid's half dead, like
emo tear coming out my eye now.
I'm not sure why he said the word mummy for. That's why I put down MUMMY, but he said mummy. I was like,
because, well, dude, they're British. They don't say mom. They say mum.
See, so we're American. We're more important. And Gooch is he's Canadian, so he's.
Don't worry, Gooch. We won't bother you.
So let's see. Yeah, and then basically this entire ending sequence is that okay. So she's being smart, Rhaenyra, and she's reading about the history of the Targaryens.
Yep.
And right now the issue is she's telling her son Jace that, listen, I am a dragon rider, and there's a war brewing, and I'm just sitting around. And she tells her son that, like, what do they expect me to do? Just sit around and die? And she's not wrong, but she says.
So here's the funny thing, because she tells Jace flat out when he comes back, because he's expecting her to be pissed, and she's like, I'm actually not. I'm happy you took charge. I'm happy you went out and did what you needed to do. She's like, but I hope you understand why I feel the way I do. And she's like, we have other dragons besides the dragons that we ride. She's like, what do we do with them? She's like, we can't have riderless friggin' dragons roaming the skies.
That's like that line.
What should we do?
Should I wait here and be destroyed, or till we're all destroyed? But yeah. But like you said, we do have 2 dragons large enough to fight against Vhagar. The problem is we have no fucking riders. That's the issue we're going through. So, and this where he basically breaks down that, well, looking at the histories say that we need pure blood Targaryens, but what if the histories were wrong? We do have cousins and descendants that broke onto other dividing house lines. And
Yeah.
what's that joke? She's like, "Are you suggesting we put a mouse around a dragon?" And basically, he's like,
I
"Yeah,
mean, yeah, if you really think about it, and it's funny that she thinks that, but and someone pointed this out, Jace being a bastard technically, he's saying like, "Mom, like me and all three of my brothers were dragon riders. We're not pure blood freaking like Targaryens, and we
yeah,
still ride dragons.
yeah,
Even like Alicent's kids, they're half High Tower. They're not full blooded Targaryen.
yeah,
Rhaenyra herself, her mother was half Aaron. Like it's not a full blooded Targaryen
damn,
riding
dirty
dragons."
bloods." Well, she looks over and like, if only there was some kind of like records, only some kind of indication, some way to find the history of where our people went through. If only like, wait a
There you
second,
go.
hold up there, and so yeah, whether and you mentioned this way before that there's are they called dragon seedlings or dragon seeds? It's
Dragon
basically
seeds.
dragon seeds, so
So dragon seeds are basically
they're not pure
that's
bloods,
it's not
right?
even the fact of not being pure bloods. They're not they're basically Targaryen bastards that are not um acknowledged as
Yeah.
being Targaryen.
Hmm.
So like characters like um Ulf the White from freaking King's Landing, who's
Sure.
sitting there saying, "Yeah, I'm the half brother of Prince Daemon and
Mm.
King Viserys," like
Yeah.
things like that. Freaking like just different ones like that, like where
Mm.
it's like some of them know they have Targaryen blood, and people are just like, "Yeah, sure, okay. Where
Yeah.
are you on the tapestries?"
Hmm.
It's like, they're not there because they're not legitimate Targaryens. They're dragon seeds. They weren't
Yeah.
acknowledged,
So we
type
have
of thing.
going forward, we have to find some more dragon riders, and because we do have the dragons, we do have the power. The problem is we have nothing that we currently don't have dragon riders because these dragons are kind of useless if they don't have no riders.
And they have at least a good like 4 to 5 dragons that are like
Yeah.
riderless that they can use to their advantage, like because they have Rhaenyra's great grandparents, they're 2 dragons. They
Mm.
have 2 dragons who've never had riders. They have Sea Smoke, who was a dragon of Laenor. There's so many dragons that can be like claimed that you
Mm.
just need to find the right person. And Dragonstone is the best place for that because most dragon scenes are on
Mm.
Dragonstone
Yeah.
because
Well,
their small
I'm sorry.
folk believed, sorry, their
No.
small folk believed that like if they held to like the right of the first night,
Yeah.
that if the kings or the princes or the Targaryens in general mated with like their like wives or their like brides or whatever, or daughters, like sisters, wives, whatever, that their children born of that would be like, strong and
Mm.
fruitful and like so on. And they basically would raise those kids as their own and be like, "Hey, we have
Yeah.
children of the gods," type
Hmm.
thing.
Well, I will say this, and again, sometimes you have a gut reaction to an episode, and watching it a second time with Lance and talking about with you, I do like this episode a little bit more than the first time, but I do see some of the criticisms, and
Oh yeah.
I just said, like, I hate Yumi rating stuff all the time in terms of like the 1 out of 10 system is kind of weird, but like I just told people that on Lance's channel, like, oh, Chris is just a 1 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I mean, I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10 for me. I gave it to me a very solid 6. And some people say, oh, that's a terrible rating. I'm like, no, a one's a terrible rating.
Yeah.
To me, saying this episode is a 6 out of 10, I still love this fucking show. Trust me, it's my favorite show on television right now.
But there could
I,
be more
I still like this
to it.
episode in a sense. I do see the criticisms where I did feel like certain scenes with Damon, certain scenes with says granddaughter Bela, and with Jace there, certain scenes I felt were kind of dragging. And again, with only 3 more to go, I feel like somebody said this is like we're playing chess right now instead of moving forward, and just like nothing really. Some stuff did happen,
It's
but
like they keep checking each other and they're not actually like making any progress.
that's what, and honestly, that's you're not the first person to say that neither. It's like they're just sitting around, and I don't mind good dialogue episodes, but like not enough happened this episode for me to say this is my favorite episode.
Yeah.
I do think it's the weakest of the season, but again, people misunderstand my criticisms. I'm not
Mhm.
saying this show is a 1 out of 10 or I fucking hate this episode. I just, I want more of it. And like even with Damon, and I'm sure you probably agree, we know Damon, we know what kind of character he is. we're in episode 5. This whole season, 5 episodes in, how much longer is he gonna be stuck at Harrenhal? It's like I get it, but Damon's not really doing anything right now, and right now Rhaenyra really needs fucking Damon more than ever. I don't want to see Damon spend all 8 episodes in Harrenhal.
I mean, technically, it's not all 8 episodes he'd be at Harrenhal, but no, I see what you're saying, and I don't agree with like the whole like number rating. I think it's stupid.
No.
Me personally, like if I'm gonna rate it, I'm gonna tell you flat out, like, do I think it's the best episode of the season? No. Do I think it's the worst? It's up for debate.
Yeah.
It's up for debate because it has its strong points. Some of its strong points, in my honest opinion, like I totally get why Rhaenyra had that conversation to begin with Bela. I get why Corlys is reacting the way he is. Aemon, still a little shit. You need to see the aftermath of Aegon. You need to see the aftermath of Kristen Cole and his PTSD from that battle. Daemon, obviously, he's going to like suffer the repercussions of his actions in some way, shape, or form. But at the same point, there's a lot of people who like more action, more political scheming, more bullshit than just like sitting there talking. But you need to understand, most wars, it's not all just battle sequences. It's not all just political scheming.
But you broke down season 1. Season 1 didn't have really many battle sequences at all, and I love season 1. Know me well enough where I don't want every episode to be a battle sequence. Last episode was fantastic.
And I'm not saying like everyone's going to feel the way I feel about this, but let me explain why I say it the way I say it. In season 1, it's build up. In season 1, it's why is this war coming? What happened? Why are we getting to this point? You understand why there's not so much battle. You understand why there's no war yet. This season, people don't realize how much shit is going to go on in between every single fucking battle. And there are a lot of people out there that are like, but it's war now. Like there should be battle sequence after battle sequence after battle sequence. And that's not how this war happened.
Yeah.
There were a lot more political scheming happening behind the scenes. There was a lot of dialogue. Some of it is unnecessary because you don't know what the hell is happening. Yeah. And they are making up certain things on the fly because it's like I said, the book itself is a telling of history. It's not an actual story. Yeah. So this whole thing that they're doing, they're filling in blank spaces here and there.
Yeah. That's fair. Like I said, it's for me my weakest episode of the season, but I don't hate it. I just I'm hoping that the next 3 are just better than this one. That's all. I feel like there is this felt like a filler episode to me.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. But if I had to watch any one episode of this season so far, this one I'd probably skip. I mean, just for me, I think we're being generous with our recap, but like honestly, I really feel like this episode could have been a half-hour episode. I mean, that's just my honest criticism. Not saying I hate it, but some episodes are just, look, they're not all 10 out of 10, but I'm still going to I can't wait. We have 15 minutes to watch the next episode. I'm looking forward to watching it. Trust me.
Yeah. But, all right.
Yeah, no,
that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't. I mean, this episode I couldn't see us doing like a 2-hour breakdown or barely even an hour breakdown. We have 15 minutes before the next episode, and as I said, I don't always like doing these live, but I didn't expect to catch the flu this week or possibly COVID, or my sister have a birthday party, or just you were working all these hours, and it's been one hell of a week. So hopefully we can get like episode 6 out pretty soon. But
yeah. I'm actually going to leave the studio right now because I have to use the bathroom.
All right. Well, hey guys. Yeah. So thank you for watching episode 5, Region, and we'll see you for episode 6. So we have the end stream. Yeah. Get back into Hot D.